Well, staying in the province where the Independent Electoral Commission is on a door-to-door registration drive in KwaZulu-Natal, efforts to ensure that all 18 million eligible voters are on the voters' roll. The move was necessitated by the Municipal Demarcation Board's changes to the boundaries, which affected their voting districts and stations. About 40% of the affected areas are in KwaZulu-Natal. Vusi Khumalo is on the ground with the IEC fieldworkers. He spoke to the KwaZulu-Natal IEC Provincial Officer Ntomb'futhi Masinga.
Today we have started seeing some IEC officials as well as the fieldworkers who are out and about doing door-to-door campaigns and also trying to ensure that people come the election day are on the voters' roll and they're able to cast their ballots. In KwaZulu-Natal, we're here with the IEC, is the leader of the IEC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Ntomb'futhi Masinga, who is going to tell us more details about the work that is being done by the field workers today. What has really prompted IEC to ensure that you are out and about on the streets and also doing door-to-door to these houses and also some townships as well as suburb areas in the province of KwaZulu-Natal?
This is part of the election program that we run just before we do the registration weekend. We have voting districts that get affected when we change voting district boundaries, and this is mainly triggered by the change in the ward boundaries by the Municipal Demarcation Board. Also the change in settlement patterns amongst the people in these voting districts, as well as new housing settlements. We have to always review whether the voting station network still serves us in terms of improving the access of voters to voting stations. So we have 773 voting districts in KwaZulu-Natal that were affected, and we need to realign the voting district boundaries accordingly.
That's 773 areas that have been affected in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Surely that's the majority when you're comparing with other provinces as well. What was the change? Why is it so big, the difference here in KwaZulu-Natal?
I think we were very thorough with this exercise. We had to look at ways of improving access by voters to voting stations and reduce distances that people travel. But the main trigger was, of course, the change of ward boundaries in this province and the need for us to realign voting districts accordingly. There have been quite a few new housing developments in the province as well. And as soon as that happens, we need to look whether it affects voter access to voting stations, and if that happens, we then have to create a new voting district or a new voting station for that new community.
Why is it still so very important for every voter to ensure that he or she does appear on the voters' roll?
It's important because the law says you need to be registered in the voting districts where you are resident. So whether it's national, provincial or local elections, we use the same voters' roll. So that's why we are visiting all the affected communities. If we find you, we re-register you. If we don't find you, we leave a pamphlet that tells you that either go and register online, or during the registration weekend in November, you need to visit the voting station and update your registration details.
And also online as well?
Online is very easy in the comfort of your home. You just need to get to the IEC website and go to the register to vote icon, and you can update. By updating your address, you are updating your registration details.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
That's Ntomb'futhi Masinga on the IECs telling us about the field workers who have already started doing their work, doing door-to-door, visiting homes to ensure that everyone is on the voters' roll. She's saying that the changes that were brought up by the Demarcation Board saw them and forced them to do this kind of processes to ensure that everyone does check his or her name that is on the voters' roll, saying that KwaZulu-Natal is the most affected province, as more than 700 areas have been affected already. With that, it's back to you in the studio.